Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live from our studios here at Kokomlimle's Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we are live on Love 99.5 FM and affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Radio Max in Takrady, Radio Freed in Nandom, Jubilee Radio in Kettine, ATL FM in Cape Coast. You can also download the My Joy online app from Play Store and App Store to listen live around the world. In this edition, police opened full-scale investigation into the alleged kidnapping of a 29-year-old woman in Takrady, declaring the incident a possible self-kidnapping. The woman is now a suspect, whilst 3 others have been arrested. This afternoon, there are reactions from the community where the woman lived after police also declared she had not been pregnant during the period she claimed to be.
What you see it and believe it.
As government races against time to get nominated MMDC is confirmed, the minority in parliament is threatening to drag the finance ministry back to the Supreme Court over its inability to release funds to the assemblies.
We want first the court to make sure that, or what we call mandamus, make sure the Minister of Finance do what they are expected to do by the judgment of the court.
We have details also in this package. Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobnenim calls for national conversation on the rapid increase in Greater Accra's population.
So clearly, it is not a one ministry affair. We should have a coordinated approach to the issue of population because different ministries are responsible for the different results that we are putting out. And this calls for a national discourse.
We have details as he reviews the population is rising to the level where so many people are living in close proximity to each other.
Greater Accra's population density is over 1,678, and you have over 1,600 people living in that. It means you have about 2 people living in every meter. Think about this from the perspective of how diseases can easily spread.
We'll take a look at how to deal with this drift in sports.
New Kotoko coach Prosper Nate Ogum is confident he has enough quality to win trophies. The details in 20 minutes.
And later on Tech Thursday, we'll talk about how the new Apple's latest iOS 15 update, what's new with it. All that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. This afternoon, there are protests at Zenith, a popular area where the woman at the center of the kidnapping incident in Takrady operates a shop. Neighbors are incensed by the statement from police this afternoon declaring the woman as a suspect in an alleged self-kidnapping conspiracy. 3 other persons have also been arrested. The statement also says that the woman, Josephine Penging Mensah, was not pregnant as she claimed. Details of the reactions shortly when we go live on the ground. But first, Joseph Akable, you have details of that statement issued by the police. Walk us through it.
And so, first, the statement makes the point that the woman was found on Sunday. The police say that since her disappearance, over 40 police officers were specifically assigned to track the whereabouts of the victim, and the family were given regular updates on police operations regarding this issue. These police operations with associated investigations were carried out on a 24-hour basis.
Okay, so you've been walking us through. Today is Thursday. The woman was found on Sunday. We've been hearing from the police today. What exactly did they say they have uncovered so far?
Their findings are that, one, Josephine Penging Mensah was never pregnant within the period under review following thorough medical examination by the medical doctors at the Azim Government Hospital. The victim, now a suspect, during interrogation mentioned the European hospital in Takrady as the hospital for antenatal reviews and assessments. Medical records at the facility suggest that the lady visited the hospital without pregnancy somewhere in October last year. Investigations also suggest that the suspect may have conspired with other persons over a possible planned disappearance. 3 people have have so far been arrested for further questioning on possible conspiracy charges. The police would like to inform members of the public that adequate measures are in place to ensure that she is safe as they continue with investigations.
So we know Josephine is one of the persons under investigation, but do we know who the other 3 persons are?
The statement does not mention the identities of these persons.
Okay. Joseph Akable with details of that statement issued by the police. And now let me take you to Zenith, a popular area in Takrady, where Josephine Mensah operated a mother care shop until this particular incident. Natalia Kwanza is our correspondent. She's been on this beat for us. You are the home of Josephine yesterday. We understand there's some agitation today too. What exactly is the issue?
Yes, Josephine. Yes, MFA. So after the release by the police, the family got agitated together with neighbors within the old John Sabah Road, and they have invoked cases on the Western Regional Police Command, the police as a whole, and then the Western Regional Minister, saying that they are telling lies. During their invoking of cases, they said that if it is not true what they are saying, their gods should take charge or take their lives. Anyone who is involved in what they say is purported lie. Let's take a listen to them.
What you see it and believe it. Then we now look at that. And the other child there,
Well, so that's some traders at the Zenith where Josephine operated a mother care shop until this particular incident. But I would want to find out from you, because we're hearing from the police now that she was neither pregnant or kidnapped and that it was a self-kidnapping situation. But how did these traders know that she was actually pregnant? By the size of her belly? How exactly were they able to confirm her pregnancy?
Well, for the family, they say that they always see Josephine go to antenatal, and they were even making some allegations that the European hospitals, knowing what they are doing, have refused to give them records because they are sure Josephine has her records there. I also today demanded that they should just show me the antenatal card. And then a family relative said that Josephine, during the time of leaving the house for her work, took her antenatal because it was an advice given to her that at that stage she could put to bed anytime. So she should always have her antenatal card with her. They said they have seen her belly. I asked them that, are they sure they never saw just a cloth which looked bigger? They said no, they have seen the physical belly and they know what they are saying. They are so sure of the fact that Josephine is pregnant, and they saw the pregnant grow from month to month.
And briefly, Ina, how have they been reacting to the latest police statement on this issue?
Well, they are not happy with the latest issue. They intend on going on a demonstration. They say tomorrow they are going to have a press conference at 12 midday.
Okay, that's correspondent Natalia Kwanza. We're scheduled to speak to the Director General Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, ACP Kwesi Furi, on this latest development. As and when we're able to raise him, we'll speak to him. But away from that, it is emerging that the various assemblies across the country have been starved of resources since the fourth quarter of 2020. This is because the statutory funds have not been released to the local assemblies. Already, this situation appears to be stalling development at the basic level, defeating the purpose of decentralization. Head of our research desk, Raymond Akwa, has more in this report.
The Constitution of Ghana requires that government is intentional in providing the necessary resources to local authorities. This is for their management and execution of policies. The specifies that at least 5% of national revenue must be allocated to the fund every quarter. According to Deputy Ranking Member of the Local Government Committee, Benjamin Podo, government has failed to pay up since last year.
The Assembly has a duty to do development projects in the constituency.
Okay.
All of this, nothing is happening any longer. Yes, nothing is happening any longer. So it's not just a question of one which has not been completed. There is nothing new happening. As we are sitting here now, the Ministry of Finance is owing the Common Fund about 1 billion Ghana cedis.
On his part, NPP MP for Otafo, Vincent Asifwa, clarified at least the MP's part of the fund has been paid for the first quarter.
Yes, for the first quarter of the MP's Common Fund. For me, at Otafo Municipal Assembly or Otafo constituency, I have received first quarter of the MP's Common Fund.
Speaking to me on Affront, the whole Central MP who dragged government to the Supreme Court insists this move is in clear violation of the orders of the Apex Court.
That's what they are doing, and we are even saying that if it continues that way, we will have to go back to the Supreme Court to clarify the ruling that they gave and insist on compliance.
Well, as of February this year, Deputy Finance Minister Abnawase Asare had promised the ministry had commenced processes to settle the arrears. It is, however, unclear when government will finally fulfill this promise.
That's the head of our research desk, Raymond Akwa, with that report. Well, the minority in Parliament is lacing its boots to drag government back to the Supreme Court over this particular matter. Now, there's an urgent need for a national conversation over the crowding in the Greater Accra region. That's according to government statistician Professor Samuel Kobneni. In the latest census figures published by the Ghana Statistical Service, the Greater Accra region has overtaken Ashanti region as the most populous region in Ghana, the first time since the 1970s. Government statistician Professor Kobneni has been speaking about this development on the AM show with Israel I.
I mean, everybody can say that we are 30.8 million, but that is not the discussion. The discussion is what has happened to Greater Accra between 2010 and 2021. Greater Accra has caught up with the population of Ashanti region, with each of these regions having 5.4. So which ministry is going to sit down and say that, or which multi-sectorial group is going to sit down and say that this is the conversation that we need to have? Because if you sum the 6 least populous regions in the country, you don't get the 5.4 million that we have sitting in Greater Accra and Ashanti region. So clearly, it is not a one ministry affair. We should have a coordinated approach to the issue of population, because different ministries are responsible for the different results that we are putting out there. And from my point of view, that is what is missing, that coordination, that harmonization to deal with multidisciplinary, intersectoral issues. And that is where we are pushing the conversation to. Greater Accra's population density is over 1,678 or 1,658. So about 2 people living in every meter. Okay. Think about this from the perspective of how diseases can easily spread. So it is not just a matter of the pressure on the land, but it's a matter of the pressure and the implications of the crowding that we are getting in Greater Accra. Yeah. Greater Accra is the only region that between 2010 and 2021, population density, we are seeing a change of 442 persons per square kilometer. When nationally, we are seeing just about 25 persons per square kilometer. And this calls for a national discourse on how we are concentrating everything in Greater Accra, because we all talk about poverty, but nobody talks about inequality. So there's clearly concentration in the southern part of the country, but much more concentrated in Greater Accra.
Professor Enim also explained that 1 in every 5 structure in the country is uncompleted, whilst in the Greater Accra region, metal containers and wooden ones contribute to a huge chunk of the structures in the region.
The other thing that we did, as I indicated, is the different types of structures. And this is where we need to begin to think through it as a country in terms of the structures that we have and its implications for housing. As at this stage, we are not defining the housing deficit. Right. But clearly from yesterday's results, we put out there that 1 in every 5 structure that we have in the country is uncompleted. And this is predominantly found in places that we all expect to see them, i.e. Ashanti region having the highest number of uncompleted structures, obviously followed by Greater Accra. And what happened in the space of Greater Accra is, although it had the highest number of structures, of the 9.8 million structures that we had, 2.1 of them are in Greater Accra. Besides that, you find that 15% of the 2.1 structures are metal containers. Okay. So all the metal containers that we have in the country, 15% of it is found in Greater Accra. And if we move to wooden structures, more than 50% of the wooden structures that we have in the country are also in Greater Accra. So this is certainly what should incite policymakers to begin to look out for the more detailed analysis. Then we'll begin to appreciate the housing stock that we have, the deficit that we have.
Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobenenim. Well, my colleague Maxwell Agbagba visited the slum community of Kofi Krom near North Kaneshi here in Accra, where residents say they are forced to live in kiosks and other makeshift structures because they cannot afford the high cost of rent.
Welcome to Kofi Krom, located in the heart of the capital, Accra. People who live here have been compelled to live in wooden structures. They say that they have to pay 70 Ghana cedis monthly to live in these shacks. I've been speaking to Al-Hassan Abubakar. He is a driver and says his wife and children live with his grandmother, but he has been forced to live in this kiosk because he cannot pay.
If you want to go in a rent room, it's too much of money. If you want to go and take it somewhere, they say you have to pay 2 years, 3 years advance before they will give you the room. They will handle the room to you. So we don't have that money. That's why we come hard ourselves for here. Oh, like if I get money, like I know we stay here.
I've also been speaking to Moro Abdullah. He's an Okada rider. He has also been compelled by his financial situation to live in this kiosk here.
I'm from Kumasi, where I come Accra. I don't have money to rent room. So that's why me to rent. I see myself, so now I grow. So I supposed to leave my uncle down and come hustling place and come and hustle myself. Okay. So that's why I'm here. I'm not happy to say I'm here because of here. Here, if you come see here, condition, if you rain, they come yourself, crampona, you say no like.
Maxwell Agbagba with that report. So what exactly is the implication of this and how can the impact be minimized? Ebenezer Ama is a development consultant. He's been speaking on Joy News Desk on the Joy News channel.
It means that there's a lot of migration from other regions to Accra. That's number one. Number two, Accra is becoming very, very urbanized. It also means that we must focus on making sure we have adequate facilities in Accra. However, we must also make sure that the regions also have adequate facilities in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of employment, so on and so forth. So we can stem this kind of migration from the regions to Accra. Obviously, we can ask people not to travel. Ghana belongs to all of us, and we can live anywhere else in Ghana, in addition to Accra. But I think that we need to ensure that development is equally spread around and across the entire regions in Ghana, so the people might not migrate to Accra. But what you can see is that Accra has become extremely urbanized, and if they don't have space enough, they cramp together. The other thing I'll say about it is that if our population density is so high and we don't have adequate facilities, there will be challenges again in terms of health, in terms of education, so on and so forth. So in a nutshell, I think government have to work with the private sector to ensure that development is adequately spread across the entire length of this nation.
That's a development consultant, Ebenezer Ama. Now, government says the nation's markets will soon see a stabilization in the prices of food items. This comes in the wake of an ending controversy in the last few weeks over price hikes, food shortage, and a prediction of food crisis next year. It all started when former President John Dramani Mahama said government's planting for food and jobs program is collapsing, predicting there will be famine next year. Listen.
Being a farmer, I see this year there's no fertilizer.
One of my siblings is a farmer, and he told me this year there are no fertilizers, so he had to buy his own fertilizer. And a bag of fertilizer is very expensive now. He normally cultivates 300 acres of maize, but this year he had to reduce it. He couldn't even cultivate 80 acres.
Because planting for food and jobs, it has failed.
And so probably there'll be famine next year because the planting for food and jobs has failed. The Canadian funding has been exhausted and we need to sustain the program with our own money. But there's no money at the finance ministry.
And food crops is going up astronomically.
Well, the Agric Minister, Dr. Owusu Akoto, says this claim is not supported by facts available to government. He has also been questioning why the former president's brother should be benefiting from government fertilizer. He's been speaking to Evans Mensah on PM Express.
You cannot dive into that huge conclusion that because your brother has reduced his acreage from 300 to 80, and therefore there's going to be a shortage of food next year. I mean, what kind of logic is that? What kind of statistics is that?
But you agree, away from his brother example, that
no, but you brought it, so I want to take him on this.
On his brother example.
Yes.
But
yes.
But what
is that how to rule? Is that how to you make public policy based on one observation?
But that observation is rooted in the fact of the.
I'm saying that he's not even qualified to benefit from that policy because he's a commercial farmer. He's a commercial farmer. He should be able to go to the bank and raise money to buy fertilizers if he wishes, but not to scrounge on the taxpayers' subsidy to poor farmers. That's what I'm saying.
So no commercial farmer is to benefit from the.
It's not supposed to benefit. If they are doing that, then they are scrounging.
Is that illegal?
No. What is illegal?
So it's not. I mean, so
that is not wrong.
Is it wrong?
You are doing 300 acres. Do you know how many acres? Do you know what kind of revenue you can raise from 300 acres of maize or soya and so on? And the small farmer who is just eking out a living with 2-3 acres, the government is going to help him, and you go and take that food from the mouth of the poor person. And he's proud to make a case out of that and come to the ridiculous conclusion that there will be shortage of food next year.
He also assured the recent hikes in food prices will stabilize soon.
And we are saying that this year, the major season started, rain started a bit slow. The minor season, we've had ideal weather pattern. And therefore, we expect that prices and supplies will be back to normal come November, December, January. So it is not unusual. You always find around this time when farmers begin planting, that's when stocks of grains are their lowest.
Well, the Agric Minister, Dr. Uswefi Yakoto, has also been talking NPP party politics. He says he will not rule himself out of running for the flag bearership race. You may recall that earlier this year, the minister was accused of allegedly sharing 1 million CDs to party executives to garner support for his presidential bid. He, however, issued a statement rejecting those allegations. But in what appears to be a U-turn, the former Kwadaso MP denied abandoning his quest to lead the party into the 2024 elections. He spoke to Evans Mensah.
The people who were making those allegations were lying.
Is that to suggest, because my question was, is that to suggest that you're not interested at all in the presidential race?
Why shouldn't I be? I'm a member of this party and a very senior member, so why shouldn't I? The destiny of this party should be of great concern to me and for all of us as party members. Of course. If I was going to say I'm not interested to run for president, I would have said so, didn't I?
But Dr. Uswefi Yakoto is interested in running for president.
Who doesn't want to aspire in their profession to the highest office?
That's the Agric Minister, Dr. Uswefi Yakoto, there speaking to Evans Mensah on PM Express. You can get portions of that interview also on myjoyonline.com. This is the Midday News. And our top story, police opened full-scale investigation into the alleged kidnapping of a 29-year-old woman in Takoradi, declaring the incident a possible self-kidnapping. The woman is now a suspect, whilst 3 others have been arrested already. We've been getting reactions from the community where the woman lives after police also declared she had not been pregnant during the period she claimed to be. When we return from the break, we have sports, and then later on Tech Thursday, we'll tell you what's new with Apple's latest iOS 15 update. And also in showbiz, from seamstress to actress, Mercy Asiedu recounts a 25-year journey in the industry.
It's my godfather, Apostle Dr. Kojosafo. He introduced me to act because when we went convention, we try to entertain the congregations.
Okay. Thanks for choosing us. It's time for sports.
Well, if I will throw the focus on Kumasi Asante Kotoko head coach Prosper Nate Ogum, who has placed a vote of confidence in his playing body ahead of the start of the Ghana Premier League season next month. Prosper Nate Ogum is remembered for guiding the West African Football Academy WAFA to a third-place finish in the Ghana Premier League last season after 1 season in charge. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, since their establishment, have won 24 Ghana Premier League titles and remain the most achieved side when it comes to trophies here in Ghana. Joy Sports caught up with him earlier at a training session at the Adakojachi Park, and he is confident that his side has what it takes to get the laurels going.
I think we have the quality to let us play and win trophies this season. I believe that talent will always win you games. Teamwork will let you win championships. So I believe that the quality we have now, if I'm able to blend them into a good team, a team that knows its structure, that knows how to move with and without the ball. I mean, in terms of tactical awareness, what they have to do, with the quality that we have in the team, I think we should be good to go.
Prosper Nate-Ogum is the new head coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Wrapping it up on sport here on Midday. Back to you, Anafa.
Now, forget about formulating new policies and implement existing ones. That's a charge by Education Minister Dr. Yawose Educhum to newly inaugurated boards and committees under the ministry. Swearing in the new board of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, the minister noted that the over-concentration on drafting policies with little focus on ensuring implementation is robbing the country's educational sector of real growth. Listen.
Countries that have transformed their fortunes have done so because they have improved tertiary education, and in fact, their gross tertiary enrollment ratio is trending upwards from 40% up. So when we have 18%, which is one of the best in Africa, it doesn't lead to transformation. The African average is about 7%. Sub-Saharan Africa is about 7%. Ghana is 18%, but we should not be caught up in the African mediocrity syndrome. That says Ghana is better than Sierra Leone, Ghana is better than this country, therefore we are okay. No, we are not, because South Korea is 93.6 and we are 18.8%. So the president's vision is very clear. His agenda is just left to us to put in implementation measures to get to that point. The Ministry of Education at this point is not interested in policy. We want implementation. So you should, as council members, understand that everything that you have been tasked with is about implementation. Your Director General should come to you at your meeting and report on implementation and the goals you have set for your authority.
That's the Education Minister, Dr. Yawose Educhum. Now it's time for Tech Thursday, and Apple released iOS 15. This week is the latest major version of the iPhone operating system. Mapitso Sebede joins me in studio. She's an iPhone user as well. Oh. Okay, so walk us through the major new
iPhone
features.
12 Pro Max user.
I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
About to be 30.
All right, so there are top 3 things that Apple users are excited about. The first one is FaceTime calls being extended beyond Apple devices, with the ability to create a link from iPhone or iPad or your Mac and share through your Messenger or your calendar or your mail. So that means Kwekwa Santi, who has an Android, he can join FaceTime. The second one is that Apple added a new focus mode, and this mode, you can select apps to keep alert while others are being quiet. So focus mode, you put it, I don't want MFA to call me, so that I know that I've disabled her or I've enabled her on the focus mode. If she calls me during the focus mode or while I have the focus mode on, her call won't come through. Okay. And the last one, which is Joseph Akable's favorite one, is the one where you can copy text from a photo.
Oh.
So if you have a PDF, you can take a screenshot of that PDF and select the text, copy it onto your WhatsApp message or your mail, and you have it, MFR. So that's what we're very excited about. But here's another thing. If you have an iPhone and you don't have your iOS 15, make sure you get 14.8 first. Okay. The 14.8 is a security feature. It protects you from all the hackers and any spyware out there.
Before you can get to the 15.
The 15, yes.
Okay, but if you have less in terms of iPhone X and lower,
so no,
are you able to benefit from the 15?
So only from 8 and above can you benefit from the 15.
Time to upgrade. And let's finish up with showbiz. And after 25 years in the industry, popular Ghanaian actress Mercy Esiedu has been recounting how she began her acting career.
I was a seamstress before I came into acting. It's my godfather, Apostle Dr. Kojosafo. He introduced me to act because for some time when we went convention, we tried to entertain the congregations. He told us, the thing that you are doing when we went to convention and it's the same thing that they are doing in the television. So you can do better.
Well, that's a Mercy Siedu, and Mapito is trying to grow her faith. She's hoping to get that vehicle for her birthday. So, Pastor Mensel Tabil has a right message for you how to grow your faith. That's on Living Word. I am MFA Paumini. Thanks for your company. On myjoyonline.com, Takrady woman was never pregnant. 3 others arrested for alleged conspiracy. Mahama's brother exploiting government's fertilizer scheme when he doesn't qualify. Presidential travel's focus should be on benefits, not expenses. Council of State member. That and more you can read for yourself.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions
and send tweets,
where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song.